Hello friends, how are you today? On this topic of integration, we will chat a little bit about what it means to a lot of us, right? And how we can maneuver a little bit throughout our lives, in our day-to-day. But first, hi, I'm Sheila, and thank you for this conversation. So on this topic of integration, what it is really. So, in my view, without even going and looking at a definition for it, integration is having had your goal written down, thought through, not entirely clearly, but still thought through, and you starting to embed some of the habits that you in your imagination right now believe one should act. Now, over time, we start to get more information and get more acquainted with that version of ourselves. So with that, certain knowledge is to be acquired based on acquiring camera ran out of storage. I'm still working on that. Apologies. So yes, when we embed the version of you that you see becoming, so certain things will arrive and other things you will be led intuitively to go and do some research, in my opinion, right? So now, who are you becoming? The topic of being clear on that is very, very crucial, because you cannot have a direction if you don't know your destination. So think of it as you needing to go to your friend's house, right? You need to have, you need to either know the roadmap, or if your friend just moved, you need to have definitely the GPS guiding you, or if you're intuitive that way, you can ask for directions. See, old-fashioned way. So in this moment of integration, and also where maybe a lot of us get frustrated because we may not see certain things happen to the surface yet, it's truly about preparation and being ready for any outcome. So whatever you know to be true that you've done so far, whether it is continuously coming back to your basics, and your basics are your routines. I strongly talk about routines quite a bit, because for me, I feel that it is a game changer. And what does your routine consist of, right? You have to figure that out. We can, I can talk about my routine, but that may not be of service to you if you don't necessarily know where to go. So a lot of people do have ideas of where they want to go, and not necessarily the first few steps to get there. And that's fine, but that's where you start searching, and that's research, the YouTube or Google, all are information that are out there. And something that, in a way, I feel that our generation, or the younger generation, gets a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of information that is out there, and we can't sometimes filter through what is needed and what is noise. So we have so much that there's so much to choose from, and as opposed to prior where there was a specific focus where you would have to go to the library, you would have to ask, okay, I'm looking for this information on that topic, can you guide me? And then you would have a few sets of books to choose from, and then you go from there. And I think we have to look at it that way as well, because know that choice is a beautiful thing, but it also can be your detriment. It could be your downfall if you don't choose, because life will choose for you. So what do you want? And knowing that there's a lot to choose from, and it's amazing, and that doesn't mean, in my opinion, because there are other people that may have other ways, but if you feel like you resonate with, my mind needs a certain direction, then this is for you. My mind needs a certain direction, so I speak from my experience. My experience is I have a lot of things that I'm passionate about, and there's a lot that I know that I will do, and there's a lot that I have to put on the back burner for now. So my roadmap, let's get back to the roadmap, and now we focus. So this is where sometimes the challenge comes as well, because are you going to put enough effort? Am I going to put enough effort towards that destination that I've carved out for myself initially? Where am I going to find that motivation every day? And sometimes you don't have the motivation. And this is why I revert back to routines. I do my best to revert back to routines. And now on this pathway that I'm carving out, I find that routines are more important than motivation. Because there are days I have to say that you don't feel motivated. You don't. You simply don't have it in you. You don't want to do the work. You just don't want to do anything. But you do it anyways. Why? Because there's this switch that happens after a few days, after a certain amount of days of you repeating certain things. Your mind becomes a little bit attached to that routine, which is great, which is what we're trying to form, right? And if you don't, then you become, how can I say this? It becomes a little bit uneasy for you in a way. That's good. You become like, I feel like something's missing. Because of course something is missing. You're no longer the person that you were 30 days ago when you started this thing. You're no longer the person that you were. Like, have you been repeating your daily habits every single day? So of course you're not gonna be the person that you were yesterday, and a week prior, and 14 days before, and a whole month before. So of course not. So of course it's going to become this uneasiness for now. This is not the moment to stop. This is the moment to continue. And now, let's try to bring everything back, right? We have the routine, and we have what keeps us going. So in my understanding, it's not necessarily motivation. And a lot of people, a lot of great well, I don't like that word, influencers. A lot of great people that I aspire to learn from have mentioned something in terms of your why. And this is, to me, also, I've found that this is important. Why? Because once you read it over and over, like initially, you go through your pages, you need to have it written down. I have it in my mind, and do as I say, not as I do, in that sense, because I did write it a while back. I had my why written down, so I know it. But write it and read it. It's great to come back to it over and over, because in those days where you're not motivated, right? You wonder what you're doing this for. For me, I try to, I like bullet points. So even though I don't write my full why as a paragraph, I try to make it as a task, a bullet point task. So it's within my bullet points. Does that make sense? So I formulate it and I'm like, okay, so I know what I'm doing this for. But yeah, this is not the time to go back and slow down. So in this integration period, you're proving to yourself that you are making it in spite of everything that is happening around you, in spite of the nonsense, the chaos that is happening around you. And it happens to distract you, sure, but you can't be distracted if you know who you are from within. If you revert back to your foundation, these distractions, they literally phase out over time. So reconnect back to your center, and there are tools that you can do that with. So some tools that I have mentioned in a few videos, and I will do my best to do them again or be more clear on those, because this is a journey that I'm on and I'm inviting you to tag along. These tools have been, for me, breathing deeply and really scheduling my breathing, because inside cannot be chaotic while outside is. So your chaos, you need to leave it away from you. Your internal needs to get back into its normal calm self state, whatever that may be. So you regulate yourself, you neutralize your emotions. You don't run away from them. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have emotions. We have emotions. We're human, so cry if you need to, but then just regulate some of it by breathing. And that helps in so many ways. That helps with clarity of the mind. That helps with, bringing oxygen into your, more deeper life into your body, into yourself. And your heart becomes lighter in senses. So yes, breathing is one. Prayer is now becoming my go-to as well. So we have breathing and then we have prayer. I cannot talk about that because I do feel like I have my way of praying, and that will have to depend on how you connect. Okay, so next will be routines. I know I talk about that before and I say it again. Routines and discipline will allow permission for much more in your life. For me and my personality, because you have to understand who you are as a person, become your best friend and understand how you move through life. Because I cannot understand other people's patterns or how they are. But if you are somebody that you feel deeply about routines and disciplines, maybe that is for you. I am not eloquent enough in the knowing of what all personality types can do, because we're multifaceted. We have so many personalities, and different people choose different ways of going about it, which is why this life is so beautiful, because we find examples throughout our life, throughout past lives, throughout history books and things like that, that help us, that guide us, that are really like little roadmaps to our person. So for me, routine and being a little bit more disciplined in my mannerism in terms of how I take care of myself, how I now start to get better at being disciplined in how I create moments for my business, moments for my work, moments for my free time, so it allows my mind to be more free in that sense. And that's why I am an advocate in this era of my life to talk about these things, to talk about why it is so important to carve out time for your free time, because we get to this point where it's so beautiful to have done what we needed to in the amount of time that we said we would. So being very respectful of our time towards ourselves, and we place that time and we're strict with it, and then allowing this beautiful moment of relaxation without guilt, without fear, without doubts, that is just for you to do whatever you want with it. So but yes, I even forgot what I started this video with. What did I start with? I didn't write it down. But come back to your basics over and over. It will become your source of comfort. And though it's great to learn to adapt, you do need a little bit of structure. For me, a little bit of structure to come back to. Whether it's, okay, I am a business person and I prioritize my business. Oh, one thing that may be helpful, right? What are your top 3 priorities? Family, business, family, money, wealth, health, things like that. Choose your priority and choose that in order. Make it so that what is in this area of your life, what is the most important thing in this area of your life? Is it creating your foundation? Because sometimes your foundation is, I need to have a great base for my family, or for me to start creating a family. I cannot talk about this because that's just me just projecting ideas, so don't take it, because that is something that I'm developing. But I do have priorities though. Your priority in this state of your life, if you are, single with a family, yada yada yada, what is your top priority right now? And then I think that might give you an indication of where to focus, where to put your focus. Is it love? Is it health? And then they do build on one another. Once you have one practice down, it does filter out throughout. Because if you are very diligent in your practice for, your health, it starts to trickle down, because your discipline becomes like the mode of discipline that you use for how you put towards your health. What you put towards your health, you then allocate it to the same to a certain degree towards your financial, towards your, relationships and so on, So, yeah. But return to center. It's super important to return to your center, because chaos will happen, and that's fine. That's part of life. We should not be afraid of the chaos out there. It is part of this, but this which you have in here, the strength that you have, the willpower that you have here and here, this is what can keep you moving forward. So build on that, strengthen that. And my alarm just and remember, you are amazing. You are amazing. Do not doubt it. You are great. You are amazing. You are more than enough. And focus. Where do you put your attention to? Stop cluttering your mind. Let's filter out the chaos and then recenter back to ourselves. If you care to continue this conversation, I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you soon. And if you care to take a look at some of the handmade products that I make candles, and I will start placing the soaps on there. And those are really great little tools to help you decompress and help your nervous system become more soothed. So if that aligns with you, I will definitely put the link in the description down below. But I'd love to hear where you are in your journey, and you got this, okay? Don't doubt yourself so much, and even if you do doubt yourself, understand that this is part of life. Just don't attach to that doubt. I say this because I am learning that as well. Don't attach to the doubt. Just let it pass through, and then you return back to your center over and over, even if you have to do this like 1,000 times in a day. You got this. Until next time, ciao.